Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we returned. We returned here with the lower semifinals. Classic, you just took down Star at 3-0 to advance on to the grand finals. We're here to find out who will face off against Classic in those finals. Will it be the best Zerg or Terran in SC Evo? Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Karis Passage. Oh, we have the South Korean Zerg player. The red Zerg, it is SHIN. I'll whip out the Google lens. ByuN, he's like, what the hell is Karis Passage? When was this in the map pool? Shin's like, I got no idea. Hold on. Jesus, that's speaking too quickly. Okay, I think they're doing some wordplay. I know that ByuN's very fond of that sort of thing. Oh my god. I want to say they're talking about the map. But yeah, big convo there between ByuN and SHIN. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Like, I want to say that they were discussing the map itself, but I'm not entirely certain, just because the conversation took a weird turn. The Google Translate doesn't help with the terminology that they're using. God. But regardless, we're settling in. We do have our initial two. I think he was talking about like 2 racks here, and I think they were talking about like initial openers and stuff. I don't know. I think they were just having a conversation. But here we have our initial racks expand into second racks behind this. Into, do we go for a 2-on-1 or a 3 racks follow up? Eyes are on ByuN. Eyes are on ByuN. Likewise, so far, standard opener out of SHIN, going for his own hatch gas pool. I say hatch gas pool. We do have Brood War Zerg out of SHIN. We have SC2 Terran out of ByuN. Okay, let's go. Let us go. So we're going to be opening up, and SHIN, we've seen this before, rushing into a fast lair. Okay, we saw this earlier against Dice, if you recall. Typically, 2-base lair does scream 2-base muta here from the side of the Brood War Zerg player. Meanwhile, ByuN back at home going into his own 2-1-1. I will say that based on the openers, ByuN, he should have a bio army and enough anti-air to deflect and to defend, but we'll see if he can keep up the mobility of the Brood War Mutalisk. We shall see. Once again, welcome to Karis Passage. Karis Passage is an older map of the map pool, very, very old. Was in TLMC many years ago and has been added to the StarCraft Evolution League map pool. Interesting choice here by Hyper1. Has often led to shorter games. We have some gold bases here that we can try to rush into, but we only saw that in the very beginning here. I want to say even that we had a closer gold base as well before it was changed, but regardless, we're going to the Spire into muta play, and we'll see how much damage SHIN can get done. Likewise, because of the earlier sim timing, there's potential for a counter attack depending on how well ByuN defends. As he's working blindly towards that 16 Marine double medevac drop. ByuN has 0 scouting information, so he has no idea what SHIN is up to. No idea. ByuN is amassing. He's amassing up. Spire's almost done. And again, it all comes down to positional play at this point. Just because there's no scouting, there will not be any turrets in position or anything like that. It all comes down to the Marines. It comes down to where they are and where they stand. As we have enough for soon to be 7 Mutalisks. 5 so far. 5 getting up to 6, soon to be 7 with that excess gas. Oh, interesting. Okay, he does mix in a couple of Scourge, actually. I mean, that will help against the medics, against the medivacs for sure. We'll see if they can impact this game. As ByuN, he does move out. SHIN, did he scout, by the way? He did. Okay, okay. SHIN's aware. Yeah, SHIN, he's aware of the double medevac drop coming his way. SHIN knows. And ByuN does not know what he's moving into. If SHIN can shut down this double drop, I mean, that could just be game. Where the Scourge? Yeah, for now, SHIN collapsing in. ByuN kites well. Yeah, it does kite well here, and we do manage to focus on every single Marine. Yeah, every Marine does fall. With that SHIN, he can counterattack. ByuN, he plummets in supply. He does plummet. Wait, did we not make any Scourge? I guess we cancelled? Okay. I guess it was a mistake. SHIN did cancel the Scourge. And ByuN is stuck at home. He's stuck at home. The whole point of this build was to hit that sim timing. Ooh, does get one Mutalisk. Gets two. SHIN overextending. Oh my god. Yeah, they're sidestepping though. The micro. The out control. And catching another Marine. Again, very meticulous control here by SHIN. Camber the production of this when there's only 3 Marines left. They're barely standing. One glaive is going to knock them all down. Oh no. As likewise going for combat shields. Oof. Vigor is denied. Massive pickup. Catching up more Marines as well. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand here. It's getting out of control. Going for more add-ons. Cashing in more production. Free Widowmine. Free Medevac. The Marine kind of slowly amassing, thankfully, here for ByuN. Building up his bio. Oh, we commit in. Oh, SHIN commits. He'll bleed out some mutas. This was not worth it. Yeah, not worth it here towards the end. SHIN does overextend. Oof. Throwing away 7 mutas. SHIN, we gotta respect the Marine. Respect the Marine, Pappy. Oh god, losing another. Another Mutalisk goes down. Again, we're getting a little bit messy here, but I think overall this is still better for SHIN. And GG gets called. SHIN just gave the production, and SHIN takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. As we are getting to game 2 here, he does take lead in the series. Again, as a reminder, winding all the way back, ByuN had no idea. Remember, ByuN, he did not scout. He did not scout what was going on. He blindly went for his 2-1-1, blindly moved that across the map, and he lost 16 Marines and 2 medevacs, and that was the beginning of the end. That from there on forward, we saw SHIN just snowball out of control, get across the map, overwhelm the army, overwhelm the reinforcements, as there was so little to defend, and just camp the production. Ensure that ByuN never built up a standing army. And that was game. That was game then and there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting into game number 2, loading into Holy World. Spawning in the top right-hand corner. In the top right-hand corner here of Holy World, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg player himself. We have the South Korean Zerg. Oh. Okay. We have the South Korean Zerg player. The red Zerg, it is SHIN. Once again, rocking Brood War. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, choosing to stick with SE2, we have the South Korean Terran. For Shopify, it is a ByuN. And welcome to Holy World. This is a 4-player spawn map, and we do have close spawns this time. Close spawns, close vertical spawns here from our 2 players. Overlord will confirm ByuN as he is sent here towards the southern half of the map. Meanwhile, ByuN, he's aware that SHIN is either bottom left or top right. And we'll see if we go for an SCV scout this time. Okay, there was no worker scouts. I will say that usually close spawns favor Terran. It does mean that the rush distance by ground is shorter. It means you can reinforce that much faster, and you can apply even more pressure. And that's where Terran does excel. That's where ByuN excels. On these smaller maps. Classic on fire today. Classic popping up. Protoss of the past versus Protoss of the present. Ah, let's go. As this Classic is waiting the grand finals. I guess for some greater context when it comes to StarCraft Evolution, I mentioned this earlier, but I would say that both SHIN, SHIN, ByuN, and Classic, the three of them, they are the best players of their respective races. You could make an argument for Hero, but Hero has he has only played a little bit of StarCraft Evolution, and what little we've seen from Hero has been impressive. That is true, but he doesn't really spend too much time in this mod. It's only here and there that he just signs up for fun. So Classic is the best Protoss player in StarCraft Evolution, ByuN being the Terran. For Zerg, you can make an argument for Solar, but based on recent performances, I would say SHIN above Solar at the moment. Based on the recent performances. So you can't get better than these three. True, true. Cannot get better. As the Reaper does back in. Pokes in, pulls away. Again, has confirmed SHIN's spawn location. And behind this, throwing down extra Raxes. Okay, so it was a standard Rax expand, now into a 3 Rax follow-up. This is going to hit very hard, borderline 2 base all in, working towards the sim timing, but this time with excess Marines. This is different from the 2-on-1 we saw previously. This time there's going to be extra bio, and we might even hit pre-medevac. Meanwhile, SHIN once again, ooh, going 2 base Muta. Oh boy, 2 base Muta against a heavier bio count that's going to hit harder, faster, and has a shorter rush distance across the map as well. This is looking a little bit more brutal here. ByuN, is he aware? He is not. He did not scout the main base, so he is aware of the hatcheries at least. And the location, but is not aware of the lair. So here comes that Spire. As I mentioned before, again, we're going into 2 base Muta. And SHIN, he excelled with it last game, that is true, but a lot of that came down to lack of vision, lack of scouting. ByuN is amassing his army, still waiting for Sim. Again, we're just still waiting for the upgrades. As you can see, there's no factory. There's no factory, there's no starport. ByuN may pull the boys with this as well. He has the option to. Based on the gases being taken, it looks like he's taking up there. We wouldn't take gases if the plan is to pull the boys. As ByuN does pull the trigger. He's sending it. He's sending it across the map. He does have how many? 21 Marines. We do have a wall of sunken colonies on the way for SHIN. Can he hold? Can he survive? Again, the Spire's not yet done. And SHIN is here to hold the line. Jesus, getting up to 6 colonies. That's a lot of colonies. And I don't see ByuN breaking this. Like, not anymore. The colonies are ready. Muta's now on the way. And ByuN, I mean, this is a strong timing, to get me wrong, but SHIN, he is more than ready for it. Ay, ay, ay. Getting a 4th expansion now. And do we have anything at home to defend, by the way? We have Marines at the natural, but nothing in the main. Mutas, they can just ignore this. They can just ignore the main army, head across the map, hit the main base, and start killing SCVs. What's the plan? I don't think it's wise for SHIN to try to surround this army and try to break out. There we go. As Mutas, they commit. There are Marines backing him to defend. True, they're in position. Very nice. Very nice defense here by ByuN. He's ready for the Mutas. Queen's Nest now on the way. As despite the Marines being able to, he's getting picked apart. He's getting picked apart here. They spread out. They go down one after the other. Turret barely does not finish. Barely will. But that's still 4 CV kills on every Marine. ByuN races back home to defend. He's racing back home. Shin, he finds a way, Pappy. He finds a way. As they do deny the gas geyser. Miss Rally? No, Shin! It's Miss Rallying in. Yeah, losing 2 drones. The rest they do rally back. Calm down, Shin, calm down. And he's gone past like the biggest hurdle here. He's been able to build up into a 3-base economy at least, and now he's been building up his mass muta. 14 mutas so far. Preserving his army and keeping ByuN pinned. Now, what is the most scary though about this map and about the locations is that unlike on Kara's Passage, the Russia's spike ground is still very short. So if Shin takes one bad fight, if he takes one bad fight, takes a mine shot to the face, if he bleeds out too many stalkers, if he mass up too many marines, then ByuN's breakout is gonna hit very hard and very fast. Greater Spire on the way. Are we going Guardian? No shot. We have a hive? We do. Okay, rushing into hive, rushing into Greater Spire. I mean, there's potential based on the terrain here to lay siege upon the main base. Maybe. The temptation. I have not seen Guardians in StarCraft Evolution in a long time. It's been months. It's been a long time, Pappy. But it's happening. It's happening. For those that don't remember, so a Guardian is kind of like the Brood War. Sorry, the Brood War Brood Lord. That was a mouthful. It's similar to the Brood Lord, except it's kind of like a cross between a Brood Lord and a Tempest, I suppose. But it does only shoot down. It only shoots down, does not shoot up. And you create the Guardian by morphing in Mutalisks. Mutalisks, they can morph into 2 things. They can morph into Guardians or Devourers. Oh. Use they pivot back around. Oh, we split off. There we go. There we go. We have 4 Guardians morphing in. 6 Guardians now morphing in. The crabs of space. The space crabs are coming. And again, specifically the terrain on this map does allow for the main base to be exposed here to siege units. Whether it's from behind the main or from the top side instead. There's potential. Mass scan confirms the hive, confirms the Greater Spire. Now ByuN knows. And Guardians are revealed. And Guardians are revealed. Have to be careful. No. Have to be careful. As Guardians, they slowly push forward. Mass Marines, they stem in. We got to make sure the Marines do not get under the Guardians. And he gets 1, 2. 2 Guardians go down. And we got to babysit those Guardians. Got to babysit. 9+2. The Guardians out in the open. Jesus. Yeah, the Guardians are exposed and they're going to be hunted down. Yeah, they should not be out here. You're going to lose every single Guardian. Ay. I mean, hey, we got to see them at least. Mention that we haven't seen them in months. We saw them briefly before being completely shut down. Again, just like Tempest, it's so important to make use of the terrain to protect them. Otherwise, they are so fragile. And here comes that counterattack. Shin trying to counter production, bleeds out some of the Mutalisks. ByuN gets across the map. Trying to jump into the main. Trying to. He's turned away. Ultra Cavern now in production, but it does feel a little bit too late. The 4th base is going to be denied. Denies the expansion. Shin coming in from behind. He will clean this up eventually. But the mutas are so low. And they're all very low. The mine shots. Oh my god. There's some crazy connections. Billy traces best he can. He will still lose everything. ByuN pulls away. Distracting the mutas. Closing a distraction. Again, Ultra Caverns are on the way. Working towards those upgrades, working towards that tech switch. And SHIN does try to regain map control. We do have another double jump moving out. Oh, Jesus. Crazy mind connection. And again, these have been some expensive losses for SHIN, referring to the Guardians and the Mutalists as well. Expensive losses. In the end, the Guardians weren't quite worth it. I do still believe that we could have made use of the terrain here and actually made use of the Guardians here on the right-hand side instead. Regardless, the Guardians have come and gone and drop into the 4th. Hatchery will fall, denies any kind of mining, 8 drones go down. And SHIN is racing back. Will be cleaned up. I mean, this is still worth it. Does drag SHIN all the way back home, kills the base, kills the mineral line, a nice damage here by ByuN, and moving out with another double drop. The ultras are coming. I guess that's kind of waiting, I guess. Assuming. And the ultras are on the way, but ByuN is close to maxing, right? He's been building up his supply throughout this entire game. Slowly building up. Building up a biomine composition. We got a couple of Thors in the mix as well. Getting to drilling claws. Oh. That's going to break out. He turns around with his Zerglings. Turns around with everything, actually. Oh. Again, turns back around. We have more Guardians morphing in. This time a better position for the Guardians. There are 0 Vikings. A little better position. Shops are being active. 9 more drones going to be going down. Ultras are revealed. ByuN, he has no ghosts yet, but he's pushing. Yeah, he does break out. Nice catch in the Overlord. Supply blocking SHIN. Okay, supply blocked. Guardians are putting in some work, to be fair. Some work. There are only how many? There are only 4 ultras. Can ByuN deal with this? Now distracted by the mutas. Yeah, still somewhat distracted. Planetary does barely go down to the cracklings. The adrenalings, they pop off. Again, there's that one Guardian left, but here come the Vikings. And I still favor ByuN when it comes to that main push. Like, that main fight still is looking terrifying. Nope. Defilers will help. Defilers are on the way. SHIN just trying to buy time. Kills 15 SCVs. I can sense the frustrations out of ByuN. He just wants to push. He just, just wants to move out. Wants to break free, baby. Oh. And do we have any spells available? So far, one Defiler getting caught out. Massive pickup. Defiler gets caught. I believe we do have Dark Swarm. The rest has to be researched. Yeah, there is Dark Storm here on the Ultras. There is no Plague. No Plague. ByuN's trying to move in once again. Nice Dark Storm. The Ultras are getting on top of the army. He's getting there. We're just gonna keep working through the Dark Storms. That's kind of gonna be on. He gets one of the Ultras. He gets one. He gets two. Oh my god! They just melt. Yeah, the Ultras, they melt. There's a Dark Swarm now being thrown down. But those are some hefty losses here for SHIN. Oof, losing another Ultra and another. Oh, they go down so quickly. Yeah, so much more fragile. Expensive losses here for SHIN. ByuN giving chase. He wants those Defilers. He wants them. And Dark Storm is going to run out. He's trapped. Trapped in the Dark Swarm. Feels like ByuN is almost breaking through. He's almost done it. Nice Plague. And Plague on the Marines. The Lings, they will clean up. But again, this army, it will fall. As he lands another Plague. Jesus. Defilers doing what they can. But there we go. They all get cleaned up. 0 Defilers left. They're being rebuilt back at home. Yeah, SHIN is not running out of bases. Down to 3 expansions. Down to 3 bases left. Oof. Trying to move through. The minefield is brutal though. Yeah, the mine shot's going to be going off. We kite back against the Ultras, and the Ultras are very low. Okay, Load does corner the army. Corners the army, gets into the mineral line. A nice drop here over the wall. And we focus on 1, 2, 3, almost 4 Ultras. Okay, that's hurting. I mean, both players are, right? SHIN lost his 4th. ByuN lost his 4th as well. Lost his 4th expansion. ByuN down to 15 SCVs. Oh, he's mining out. Oh, God. He has no economy. I didn't realize we had the main is mined out, so the 3rd, the natural. This is all the economy he has left. ByuN, he's out of money. He's broke. So is SHIN. I mean, SHIN is also mined out from his bases. But he still has mining here at his 3rd. So that's some mining. Here's that pick in. Yo, the 3-meter harass. He's doing it. 4 SCVs. 5. Almost. ByuN down to 11 workers. 11 SCVs left, barely an economy. Now, ByuN can always lift his CCs to some of these other bases, but they are so isolated. And GG gets called. GG as ByuN, he does overwhelm. SHIN taps out, and ByuN, he will take game number 2 and tie the series. GG. Whew. GG well played. Both players are so broke. They were both struggling when it comes to their own economy, when it comes to their own production. ByuN, he only had 11 SCVs left, but SHIN does tap out. He is broken in the end. I don't think he realized necessarily just how little economy ByuN had, but likewise, SHIN was in a similar position. GG. GG well played. Whew, as we're getting ready here for game number 3 to break the tiebreaker here. Who can take a lead in the series? We're loading into Death Valley. Now, for those who remember, Death Valley is a newer map in the map pool. I say newer map. It is an ASL map from last year, from 2025. So it's a more recent ASL map. Has a lot of unique quirks for sure, similar to Golden Wall in that respect. We'll get into it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Valley, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg. Oh, Jesus. We have the Red Zerg player himself. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran. The Brood War Terran player himself. For Shopify, it is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. Welcome to Death Valley. Death Valley is a unique map in the map pool. I appreciate some of the quirks and features here. First things first, we do have a full wall here leading towards the southern half of the map. Meanwhile, the top half is currently open but can be closed off as well. Similar to Golden Wall, this does have two halves. We have the top half of the map, which is completely segmented off. That is the big difference between this map and Golden Wall, is that on Golden Wall, this cliff face would be a mineral patch, right? There'd be mineral patches here, there'd be mineral patches here, and you would eventually open up the entirety of the map. Here, it's all cliff faces, so you cannot open up the map. This half is completely cut off from the other half of the map itself. We can see both SHIN and ByuN expanding towards each other in that top half. So we have one natural expansion on the top half. We have one base we can fight over here as well with high yield gases. We have the Zelnaga tower on the other half of the map instead. And again, shorter rush distance aggression is favored here, at least depending on how we expand. When it comes to these gas geysers, these simulators, the way that it works is that when the simulator is destroyed, it reveals a gas geyser underneath that is empty, and I believe that will create a full wall. If you destroy both the simulators, that will completely, permanently, fully wall this off. Just bear that in mind. Yeah, so Jonah is here to delay. ByuN, I'm sure, saying like, the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. Get out. Why are you drone scouting? Hold on. Let's see if we can translate. Oh. Yeah, ByuN, he's like, what the hell are you doing? so he was like, why are you drone scouting? Let's go. Drone scouting is non-existent at this level of play. And SHIN, he's like, I'm feeling like a Protoss. Feeling it out. Aye. ByuN, he brings up that like, hey, my worker has 60 health points, which is true. Like the Brutal SCV is a little bit tankier. And she's like, good. He just leaves. So again, just vibing it out. Just vibing it out. It's fine, don't worry about it. So the mineral patch here is mined. We do take the third base here for SHIN, again opening up the southern half of the map. So far, ByuN's own mineral wall is completely sealed off for the time being, as ByuN is going for his own 3x stim timing. Oh boy. Again, this is the bread and butter of Brood War TvX matchups, is just 3x stim. Academy's on the way. I guess for some greater context here, the reason why this hits so hard and the difference between 3X's between Brood War and SC2 is that in Brood War, bam, you don't need a starport to make medics. Medics, they're unlocked by the armory, so these 3X stim timings hit with healing and medic support, and also fire bats if you really want them as well, which is not unheard of when it comes to 3x against Zerg. So this does hit harder and has more sustainability as a result. You can stim more freely, whereas in SC2, every stim hurts more because in SC2 3x's you don't have a starport, you don't have Metamax, so every stim hurts that much more. So a bit of a different dynamic as ByuN does move out. Back at home, we do have a safety baneliness on the way. SHIN, he did scout all 3x's. SHIN is fully aware as to what's going on. He knows. SHIN knows. There are different ways to defend against this. You can go for a Roach defense, which we saw against Dice, or here we're seeing a Ling, Bane, a Queen defense instead. It is a big investment, of course. You have to make a lot of Zerglings. You have 16 Lings on the way, 5 Banelings as well. SHIN is taking this seriously. And there it is. The Fire Bats are coming online. 3x's, you typically avoid Fire Bats against Protoss, but against Zerg, Fire Bats do have a place because they trade well against Ling Bane. Trade well. They're here to tank. Fire Bats are online. The Fire Bat. That's soon to move out. Back at home, ooh, we do see a faster lair here out of SHIN. I say faster lair, around 440s here, so standard lair timing. Lair at the natural, interesting choice. ByuN does scan, does confirm. It's going to be lair before Evo chambers, before upgrades, but after the nest. As ByuN, after scouting, after scanning, and he saw the baneliness, ByuN doesn't go out. He does not push. He waits for more reinforcements. We have 2 more maxes on the way, getting to a 5-rack setup and a factory as well. ByuN is taking up. He's taking up. Looks like he does recognize that he cannot kill, but he'll still apply pressure. Can he catch a queen? Oh, barely not. There's the first stim. ByuN stims in. Lings, they collapse on forward. Here go the Bailings, and they will connect. Oof. Here they crash into the Fire. Decent spread here by ByuN, but he will still lose everything, even connecting with the Fire Blast towards the end. But the Fire Blast, they survive. Fire Blast, they get the hell out of here. They do manage to escape. They walk away. But SHIN holds. And behind this, SHIN again is droning. Saturating layer is now done. Bailing speed is on the way. Single Eva chamber for +1 in carapace. SHIN is stabilizing. ByuN behind this, we're waiting for a 3rd CC. He throws down 2 more Raxes actually. That is a 7-rack setup on 2 bases. Ay, ay, ay. So a very committed play here by ByuN, as he could otherwise afford a 3rd command center. SHIN taking more bases, and ByuN is taking up even further on 2 bases here, going for the science facility. Now, I always have to bear in mind that in StarCraft Evolution, like, the economy is different, and you can sustain yourself on 2 bases longer than in regular SE2. Based on the fact that ByuN is mining this, it looks like he does plan to expand. So he should be expanding. Should on that one. So we have our Lingbane Hydra amassing here for SHIN. SHIN does take over both Zelnaga towers. Just catching up. I haven't put a neutral CC top right. So I just realized. I didn't even realize that. Why is that there? Is that... I would imagine that's not there in the Brood War version of Death Valley. Okay, sure. Why not? I guess. I mean, like retrospectively, like looking at like the balance of the game and randomly like putting like neutral CCs on maps like is just to incentivize infested Terran. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't think we'll ever see it, of course. Like, but that's what it's there for, right? I guess. It's like maybe we'll see infested Terran once in 2026. Maybe. Smurge. It's just so niche. So niche. There we go. Bearing in mind there is no irradiate. And ByuN threatening a dive. SHIN getting in position. Building a Brazilian main Hydra. Hive is on the way as well. Now, based on the melee upgrades, I'm still on the fence about whether or not SHIN's plan here is to go into Ultra Tech. We'll keep an eye on him. If the plan was for lurkers, then there would already be a lurker den being thrown down, so leaning more towards ultras at this point. Lings, they counterattack, they backstab, they will delay the 3rd. Like Holy War. Oh, so you're saying that on Holy War, the neutral CC doesn't exist in the Brood War version? I just assumed it did. Like I just, but okay, interesting. No, it does. Oh, okay. I thought you were using it as an example of a map where Hyper One like inserted something just for testing purposes. So Radiate's halfway done. Ultra Cavern's also on the way. Now, unlike the Dice series, there is going to be, by the time Ultras hit ByuN, it will be ready with those Irradiates. There's even going to be a window in time where ByuN can hit pre-Ultra. And we'll see if ByuN can break through. Again, this is his time. Like, pre-Ultralisk, ByuN has the advantage. He's slowly gaining grounds. Again, there's no creep here for SHIN. Going for his own counterattack. Back at home, there is one bunker to defend. So there's not much. There's nothing. As tanks are getting within range. Yeah, within range of the mineral line. Queen's going to be going down, getting one, getting two queens. Nice pickups. At the same time, Shin focusing on his run by. Does get into the mineral line. No reaction. Ooh, no reaction. ByuN distracted. Yeah, mineral line goes down. Mass blinding clouds. Shin, he commits in. And he gets on top of the tanks. Tanks will go down, but the Bio army does stand strong. There's just so many Marines. Too much Bio. So many Marines. ByuN is going to keep on pushing. At the same time, though, 21 SCV kills. Critical damage here at the natural. ByuN, he needs more damage. He has to keep going. One base is not good enough. It's not good enough. Not anymore. Oh, let's go. The Irradiate. Radiates his own science vessels. Dives on top of the Banelings. Banelings do finish. That wasn't quite worth it. I believe he did erase some Lings at least. But did not get on top of the Banelings. Banelings, they survived. It felt almost like a desperation move out of ByuN there, just to try to end the game, because ByuN is being outscaled. ByuN is down to 38 SCVs. ByuN, his economy, it's not there. He can't sustain himself. He cannot sustain himself. Meanwhile, Shin, he has the northern base, fully mining. Ultras have arrived. And with that, ByuN is being overrun. I mean, nice kiting here against the Ultralist, don't get me wrong. Oof. Bailey connects. Irradiate on the Ultra. Shin still giving chase. Oh no, one more swipe. What a mess. Oh my god. Yeah, swipe goes off, and with that, ByuN plummets in supply. Again, he barely escapes with these Marines, just barely. Stims away. And again, ByuN is desperate for damage. Shin catching the army, does find it. ByuN will find himself on top of the high ground here, but we do have Ultras coming in. Shin's army just is a little bit scattered. It is scattered. A bit of a messy engage here from Shin. Science Vessel goes down. We got one Ultra. And Shin, he's just trickling units in. Yeah, trickling in units. Lings, Hydras are just being thrown away. But the one Ultralisk. Oh my, he just wants hugs. And he gets them. Oh god. Yeah, the Ultralist does defend. And again, as I mentioned, ByuN was all in. ByuN is all in. He's all in. 50 workers. He's going for the mass scans, trying to see the economic state of Shin, judging just how far behind he is. See Leaf in the chats. The second one version, yeah, GG. GG, well played. As again, ByuN has no more sustain, and Shin takes a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Shin will take a 2-1 lead here. Again, a very intense game, don't get me wrong. And there was that window in time where ByuN could break through pre-Ultra, and he was gaining ground. He was killing bases. I'm sure ByuN was hoping that maybe Shin would overextend and commit to a fight. But we saw that Shin instead, what did he do? Counterattack. He went for a big link bang counterattack. The game-winning move was Shin hitting the natural base of ByuN and killing all the SCVs. So many workers went down there. It was over 20 worker kills at the natural, and that crippled ByuN, ensuring that there was no follow-up, ensuring that ByuN, he had no longer life left in this game. He had no longevity, of course. He had no sustain. GG. GG, well played. With that, Shin takes 2-1 lead, and now we're jumping to game number 4. We'll see if Shin can close it out here and now, or if ByuN can fight back and force the ace match as we load into Golden Wall. Let's go. Just catching up. Infested Terror and Super Niche units, didn't see any Evo Brutal War Zerg player pulling up an Infested CC. Yeah, they're very, very niche. So, which is why, like, I understand the idea of throwing them down, like, randomly on maps that maybe wouldn't have them originally, just to have them, just to be like, hey, like, you know, like, just to have it as, like, some kind of option here, just to potentially see it. Even if we never do. But regardless, here we go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of a Golden Wall, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg leading the series 2-1, but now playing the Brood War side of things. It is Shin. and spawning in the top left hand corner, as I do have to fix up the names. Un momento. God damn it. In the bottom hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran. It is ByuN for Shopify. Hold on, I got you. For those who are curious, the reason why ByuN's name was there is because ByuN uses a barcode in the PTR, and we were, of course, casting PTR tournaments recently, featuring ByuN. He's on a barcode. It's all good. Here we go. We're loading into Golden Wall again. One of the older maps in the map pool from back in around 2020 era of StarCraft. It's been quite some time. ByuN, interesting. Going for a faster command center. CC first into an extra couple of raxes. We'll see if it's CC first into 2-on-1 or into another 3 racks. Eyes are on ByuN. Flip side of things, SHIN does go for his own standard opener, not gasless. He's going hatch gas pool. Link speed is on the way. SHIN does stay in gas. And what has SHIN done every time he plays Brood or Zerg? 2 base Muta. Fast Lair, Fast Spire, 2 base Muta has been the name of the game for SHIN time and time again. We do notice, of course, that here on this map, it is a short rush distance by air. True, short rush distance by air. So Muta play can be effective here. My concern, though, is that are we going too hard with the Muta play? Like, are we becoming a little bit too obvious, a little bit too predictable? I would imagine that ByuN is going to be a little bit better mentally prepared for this, as yep, there it is. Lair is on the way. So 225 Lair timing here out of SHIN. We've been seeing this a lot. So far, this is the 3rd time, I believe, this series. 3rd time. It's like the most unique mechanic I've ever seen in the RTS. For sure. Yeah, I would say so. Like the idea of not even of like taking over your opponent's units. Like that's not what's unique. Just because like you have ways to do that in other games, or like with the Dark Archon, or with like monks or priests in Age of Empires. But the idea of like turning your opponent's building into a custom unique building to make custom unique units out of. Yeah. Just unfortunately, I think someone mentioned earlier that that they've never seen it in SE Evo. We cast a decent chunk of SE Evo here. I've never seen it either. Like, unfortunately, never seen it. I say that I will say it was last year. Oof. I think it would have been during one of the PTR tournaments. I think we see someone attempt it. I think we saw. Yes, it was God. Was it SHIN? Was it SHIN versus ByuN? Or SHIN versus TvZ? God, it was on an underwater map. There was an underwater map, StarCraft Evolution split map scenario, and what we saw was God, I can't remember if it was SHIN or Dark, but because it was split map, and I think it was TvZ, we had a bunch of CCs. We had a bunch of CCs in the middle, to wall up and to wall off. And I remember, again, it was either SHIN or Dark, they moved in with their queen to infest, but the queen was sniped. So it didn't finish. but I did see an attempted infest. This was last year, and again, it was last year, maybe halfway through the year. I don't know if Avex can remember it. But I did see a queen attempt to infest the CC, and then the queen got sniped. I was like, no. Oceanborn, yeah, it was on Oceanborn, yeah. It was on Oceanborn last year. So that's the closest that we've gotten to an infested CC. We'll split map on Oceanborn. Oh, but there you go. From here, we just see ByuN did turn this into a 2-1-1, or sorry, a 3-1-1 variation. So far, keeping the units back at home. SHIN coming from behind though. Oh, can he surround? Yeah, wants to catch this army. Has to be careful. We have 8 Mutalisks. And ByuN, he will drop over the wall. Very nice. He will avoid the Zerglings. Can we get the medevac though? Ooh, we cannot. Yeah, Medevac does unload. Mutas, they do focus on the Marines one after the other. And ByuN will lose everything. He will lose everything here. Every Marine goes down. The Medevacs as well. Some heavy losses here for ByuN. He does at least buy some time. Back at home, getting into his own 2-base economy and into his own bio mine. Trying to at least, but he will lose map control. Yeah, he'll lose map control. He's like, leave me alone, papi. Por favor. Ah. Oh, no. Hold on. We'll translate. We'll translate. Oh, God. There we go. He said it has begun. And then SHIN laughs. That was the keystroke for laughing. Ah. The mutas are coming, papi. As you do pick up a couple of Marines. We do have to respect the bio clump though, the bio ball. Has to be respected. Meanwhile, we have a much faster Queen's Nest this time. Okay. Queen's Nest on 2 bases? Wait, what? They're quite greedy here by SHIN. Quite greedy. Are we going to try to rush Hive and rush Greater Spire, or just go Queen? I mean, Queen's like, they can be a good supportive unit for sure with Ensnare. What's the plan? Hive or Queen? I mean, is the terrain good for I was gonna say Broodlords? Good for Guardians? Maybe here, maybe. Depending on which bases are taken, of course. Ah, there we go, Ensnare. Okay. So it is not going to be for the fast Hive. We're going for Ensnare. Going for Queen production. SHIN is trying to contain. So far, SHIN hasn't dealt any major economic damage. You can see here that SHIN has killed mainly Marines more than anything. He's been trading well, but oh, ByuN, he is breaking out. He's breaking out with his triple drop. We got 3 Queens on the way. I'm still very much so on the fence about Ensnare. Like, Ensnare is useful, but I mean, like, on paper it's useful, but I feel like in the past year of play, especially with, like, I know there were a bunch of changes on Ensnare. I know that they now have it behind an upgrade. Before it wasn't behind an upgrade either. But very often we see like an Ensnare used and the Terran player just tanks the Ensnare anyway, and they just commit, and then Ensnare runs out and they just keep going. Like, I don't know. I've seen many a Terran just tank an Ensnare and just win a fight anyway. See many a Terran. But I do agree it's like a useful tool just to buy time. Speaking of, there's the first Ensnare. Oh, Queen gets picked up. Yeah, this is what I mean. So it's SHIN. We gotta respect it. We gotta respect the Marines. Yes, ByuN does rotate. It does spot all the sunken colonies. Picks up a Mutalisk. Rotates to the top side. ByuN does hit the third, and the third is gonna go down. SHIN's gonna be like, yo, why is Ensnare doing no damage? Like, why is he... Yeah, this is more of like what we've seen so far from Ensnare, is that we Ensnare and then the Terran army just tanks it and we just kill bases. Punish the army. This army is gonna be trapped though, so SHIN should clean this up. Oh my god, gotta be careful. Yeah, spinning trades well. He will be cleaned up. Back at him, ninja bases. Let's go. SHIN does take top left. Does take an ninja base. Meanwhile, ByuN expanding, breaking out, and claiming his gold. Oh, the gold base is now coming online. Instead of best use to force a fight, I feel like you have to force a fight or to just slow down a push to give yourself a little bit of breathing room. But I will say that maybe one of the reasons why we've seen Ensnare struggle so much is that it feels like a lot of people use Ensnare kind of like they would use Fungal, and then they get punished for it. I think an example of that is that when we saw these Ensnares here, SHIN, he dove in, but he could not fight head on, like no shot. Like if the goal there was to force a fight, then that's what ByuN wants. Like ByuN, he wants to fight there. So yeah, I feel like maybe there's some mixed ideas as to how Ensnare should be used by the players, and we see them struggle as a result with that. SHIN has his gold up and running. SHIN's economy is still a little bit lacking here, especially after losing that base and losing those workers. He's rebuilding. Oh. Nice run by. I spoke too soon. The mines. Couple of mine shots going off. ByuN is in position. We'll clean up the lings. Yeah, we'll clean up. Likewise, Thor's here. The Thor has arrived. Drop across the map as well. 14 drones going down. SHIN caught out of position completely. Ooh, and that is brutal. SHIN, his economy was already low to begin with. He only has 45 workers, and he will lose another expansion. He's going for it. He wants the base. Can he get it? He can. Oh my god. Yeah, another hatchery goes down. Brutal pickup. ByuN breaking out. He has momentum. And behind this, we have any spellcasters? We have two. We have two queens. They're not a part of the main control group. I mean, after the last experience, SHIN, he's abandoned the queens, baby. Yeah, Defiler Mound is on the way. Greater Spire as well. SHIN going for a counterattack. ByuN does move in. And again, we can try to slow this down. I saw, oh god, no. Yeah, queens are thrown away. And GG gets called. GG gets called. ByuN snowballs out of control, and ByuN ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. And GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 5. We're going the distance here. Going to game 5, and show us what you got. Oh, game 5 is going to be on Mothership. Winding it back here again, SHIN did go 2-base muta again for the 3rd time this series. This time ByuN was able to be proactive, and be active on the map. And as opposed to the previous games, I will say that SHIN had very few opportunities to kill workers. So winding it back, when it came to the early to mid game, the foundation of what we had here in game 4, SHIN, he barely did any economic damage. He killed like what, 2 SCVs? Like he barely killed anything compared to what we've seen previously. Likewise, had a really hard time picking off marines and gaining any kind of snowball effect with his mutas. This time ByuN was much more prepared with his turrets, with his widow mines, with his bio positioning, and again with a more proactive kind of approach with his drops. And with that, SHIN had a harder time, right? He was not able to really staff with the economy. He was losing his own bases, his own workers. GG well played. I appreciate that SHIN did try a new approach by going into queen play and going into ensnare, but in the end he wasn't able to fully utilize said ensnare and utilize said queens, and as a result, ByuN got out of hand. He got out of hand, and with that, we're now getting into the ace match. How will the story end? Will it be SHIN or ByuN advancing on a Face of Ends Classic? Let's go. Let's find out as we load into Mothership. Let's go. Those mutas look so weak. I mean, the mutas in SC in the live version also look weak as well. They're not built to fight head on. They're built to counterattack. That game is not representative as to how powerful mutas can be, because we have seen mutas excel and win SHIN games earlier in this very series. Bear that in mind. That's why we try to emphasize that a lot of this came down to the fact that this time SHIN did not deal economic damage. This time he was not came with the production. This time he was not able to gain those little pickoffs that add up over time and start that domino effect. That was not the case here in game 4. But here we go, spawning in the bottom side of Mothership. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg. Oh, the Red Zerg himself being forced into the ace match. It is SHIN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Shopify. It is a ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. They're trying to replace Fungal with Ensnare, but it's not the same thing, and its use cases are not the same. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. It just takes a little bit more like practice with the units and with the spell itself to get a better concept as to how it should be utilized. For sure. But here we go. Welcome to Mothership, a 3-player spawn map. SHIN, he will scout ByuN immediately with his drone scout, actually. CC first. CC first out of ByuN. Again, this is very common on Mothership, very common on 3- and 4-player spawn maps. Greedier build out of ByuN. And SHIN is here to disrupt, to be annoying. Back at home, hatch, gas pool, standard opener. Again, SHIN is playing SE2 Zerg this time, so we don't have to see 2-base Muta. Every time that SHIN has embraced Brood War Zerg, it's been 2-base Muta time and time and time again. Does scout, does confirm the 3x follow-up as well. So CC first into 3x stim timing out of ByuN. SHIN is aware. And we'll see if SHIN goes for a Roach defense or a Baneling defense. We've seen both work. It depends on the direction that SHIN wants to take us down. If it's going to be roaches, then I feel like we would have seen a gasless opener if that was the case. We'll see. We're leaning more towards Link Bane for the time being. Just catching up with the chat. Sorry for missing the comment earlier. What is StarCraft Evolution? What a fun game. So SC Evo is a mod. It's a game mod. I mean, there's chats and microfields for responding in the chat. Is a game mod that does pit together Brood War versus SE2. Bearing in mind that the Brood War races are not a carbon copy. They have been adjusted and balanced and patched. And there's been a lot of iterations over the past 2 years. Maybe even 3 years at this point, when it comes to trying to balance these units and try to keep them competitive against the SE2 races. Something to bear in mind as well is that whenever there's a patch that hits SE2, that always does influence and impact StarCraft Evolution to the point where they have to like kind of, you know, reroute and kind of readjust things to try to keep up with the patches that come out. They only come out on a yearly basis, but that does happen every time. So it's a fun mode. It's decently popular. Like it's I would say probably the most popular custom mod out there when it comes to competitive play. Like there's a good amount of them, right? Like there's like the Scion mod with the new races. There's the patch mod as well. There's Green Earth's mod. Those are the 3 that come to mind immediately. So there's a good amount of like custom mods with custom game modes that have their own competitive scene, but I would say that StarCraft Evolution has been able to reach a bit of a larger audience compared to the others, partially because of nostalgia, of course, and does cater towards a more like Korean heavy base as a result of that. Less so foreigner, right? Like as you can see here, like in the finals and in the semis, like we have a lot of Koreans. Foreigners have not really embraced SE Evo as much as the Koreans have, except for the CIS region. Like from like Eastern Europeans have been diving into it. There's been like a lot of Russian players competing in Evo events. And Korean. But the other foreigners, like the Europeans, the Americans, like they've been less interested. Different market. For now, though, it was going to be a Roach defense, so we did have the Roach Horn thrown down. With that, the initial 3x is deflected. SHIN, he's building up, taking up. Lair is on the way, droning at the 3rd expansion as well. Sorry, we'll just get into it. ByuN, he didn't overcommit, thankfully, with his first push, where he does reinforce, and he is still looking for damage. We'll see if he can deny some creep, or maybe even catch a queen. Speaking of, oh, queen does pull away. Marines, they just look to stim in. Catching out some tumors, picking up a roach. And they get the hell out of here. Does pull away. Behind this, going into siege mode into biotank. So a biotank setup. From the side of SHIN, we're expecting an infestation bit soon. Again, SHIN is very fond of opening up Roach and then turning this in towards a Hive Tech. Yep, there it is, infestation bit. This should be for safety infestors into Ultra Tech as well. I do worry here that, I mean, we've been here before when it comes to the DICE series. But SHIN, like, he has a very big power spike when it comes to the Ultras. We'll see if ByuN can get to the point where he can build up into science vessels in time with irradiates to be able to survive said Ultra Tech. I'm assuming that that needs to be the tech choice here in the tech path for ByuN. Again, we'll see if we can get there. So here we go. We do have the safety infestor. Infestor's on the way. Hive has now begun. Again, ByuN's on a timer. He's on a timer. Pre-ultra. As ByuN is trying to be active. Moving out here on the left-hand side as well. Pushing towards what would be fourth base. SHIN does not see this, by the way. Uh-oh. God damn it. God damn it, SHIN. Every time. I can't look at his POV. I get blasted by D.Va. God damn it. That's the SHIN. Let's go here. As ByuN does set up. He does set up. Takes on the fourth base against SHIN. He did not see this coming. D.Va didn't warn him. Oh, no. God, every time I look at SHIN's POV, I can't do it. SMH. Here we go. Fourth base, let's go down. Yeah, it's ByuN. He's committing, by the way. He is committing. He's rushing across the map. There's no third CC behind this. The goal here is not just to break the fourth base, but to push further in into the natural. There's that Ultra Cavern. As I mentioned before, the Ultra Cavern is on the way. It's here at the natural. Meanwhile, Irradiate has begun here for ByuN. Getting to Irradiate. Oh. Still on two bases, by the way, which SHIN is confirming. Setting up for a link counterattack. Once again, just trying to buy some time. ByuN rotating towards that center expand. That's a lot of reinforcements. Here comes the second wave. Oh. The second wave is moving in. The expansion is exposed. And ByuN, can he force a cancel? He should be able to. Yeah, he should be able to at this point. Fungal comes in. Massive Fungal. Oof. Does catch the army. The base is still exposed. At the same time, Lings, they do deny the CC. Oh, that's a kill? Yeah, it's a kill, not a cancel. Hatchery is killed. SHIN trying desperately to get a fourth base up and running. Trying to. Not able to collapse in. Does deny reinforcements. And he's done it. At this point, the Ultra Cavern is done. We have 4 Ultras on the way. Now, they are lacking upgrades, true. They're going to be 1-1 Ultras. But +2 Carapace is done in 10 seconds. SHIN needs a couple of seconds here for Carapace. Likewise, Kindness Plating is halfway done. There is one Irradiate. Does end one. Yeah, lands on Irradiate. Just had the one. You can see SHIN being very patient. Carapace finishes. He almost has Kindness Plating. Casito, baby, casito. Ideally, he wants to lure the army further onto creep. Tanks do siege. Tanks, they siege up, and there we go. 7 seconds away. 6, 5. And now we commit. Now we commit. There's no Radiate available, by the way. There was only one science vessel with the main army. Now we commit in. Tanks will go down, and can we chase down the Marines with the other surround? These have to surround Marines. They will slip away. Yeah, they slip away. They're kiting, Bappy. No fungal. No fungal. Oh, God. But they are overstimming. Yeah, they sim as best they can. Massive swipes going off. ByuN, he will lose all the Marines, and with that, SHIN, he snowballs out of control. SHIN, he may still lose his 4th expansion, but ByuN, he has no 3rd. He's still stuck on 2 bases, and we can just commit in. We just rally across the map. We break through the siege line. There's 1 irradiate. Oh. Yeah, SHIN does split. Again, we'll still lose his 4th base. We have Ultras to defend back at home. And now we can break through. Now we can break on through as well. Oh my god, the Marine, oh no! Oh god. Yeah, Baal's a crazy army, and with that, SHIN has broken ByuN. Again, ByuN was so close. ByuN, he was all in. He was all in, trying to kill SHIN, but SHIN, he was so patient, buying time for +2, buying time for guidance plating, buying time for the Ultras, and with that, he just snowballs out of control, gets into that big power spike. Now he's triple expanding, getting the center base, bottom left, and top right. At this point, SHIN has done it. ByuN, he can try to build up into like a 2nd wave and a 2nd all-in, but at this point, now we have plenty of Ultras. How many do we have? Soon to be 6. 6 Ultralisks, a couple of Vipers as well. There is 1 Infestor. And SHIN this time should finally be able to establish a 4th base. Should be able to. At least one of these bases should become a 4th. Oh, Shema, Papi Shema. Almost 5 a.m. You're in anda mimid, Papi. Go to sleep. Oh no. Esther 36. That's how we go. SHIN commits. Oh. Again, nice irradiate here on the Vipers. Despite that blinding clouds, the Ultras, they break on through. There's 6 Ultras. Oh god, down to 5, and they're still breaking through anyway. Yeah, they break through the defensive line, through the tanks, through the Bio army as well. Irradiate does do damage here to the Marines, and GG gets called. With that, SHIN, he will overwhelm. He will claim the series 3-2, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. SHIN, he will overwhelm. Again, ByuN, he had potential for sure. ByuN, he was gaining ground. He was knocking down 4th base after 4th base. But what mattered was the natural. What mattered was that throughout that entire time, SHIN was being very patient, just teching up, building up, embracing his end goal, of course, his win condition of Ultras, and he got there in the end. GG. GG, well played. It did get there, and with that, SHIN does overwhelm, and with that, we have our grand finals. It is going to be a best of 5 between SHIN and Classic. Let's go.